the session late today. We are busy with some college work, so we just returned back. So within 2 minutes I'll start. Let others join. है ना? 2 मिनट में start कर रहा हूँ. Vijay sir, I think we can start, okay?
Sure, sir.
All right. चलो मैं start कर रहा हूँ. So welcome students. Today we are going to learn about a new topic which is matrix. ठीक है? So I'll start with matrix. If you have any doubts regarding yesterday's session, please watch the video and ask your friends, those who have not attended yesterday's session, to watch the video also. And I can take your doubt session day after tomorrow if you want. Okay? कल भी हम पढ़ेंगे with matrix. Okay? I just share my screen. Just a moment. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
All right. तो चलो अब start करते हैं. So we start with basics of matrix. What matrix are? Can anybody would like to say something about matrix? आपने matrix पढ़ा है स्कूल में? If anybody would like to say something about matrix, you are most welcome. Unmute yourself and whatever definition you know about matrix, please tell. All right. In that case, I would define that matrix for you. So we can define matrix as a rectangular arrangement of m.n numbers. It can be real numbers, it can be complex numbers or expressions having m rows and n columns, right? So this rectangular arrangement of elements in rows and columns in a tabular manner is called a matrix. And how do we represent the matrix? We always use capital letters as variables. So here capital A we are using to represent that it's a matrix variable. The symbol for matrix is we enclose our rectangular arrangement of elements in this big bracket. Then we represent elements in rows and columns. So if we move from left to right, this is one row, next row, and so on. If you go from top to bottom, this is called our columns. So rows are from left to right and from columns are horizontal, that are so vertical from top. So it is a combination of rows and columns. And how do we address the different elements of matrix? We address element of a matrix. अगर आप नीचे देखें, an element of a matrix is denoted by A of ij, where A means a value और उसकी position क्या होगी? It is located at ith row and jth column. So we say that element of ith row and jth column is A of ij. ठीक है? अगर हम हमारा ऊपर वाला मैट्रिक्स देखें, so we have first row, first column element. So the location is 1 1. So it's A of 1 1. First row, second column, then first row, third column, and so on. So we have first row, nth column. All right. Similarly, you come to second row. So it is second row, first column. So it's A of 2 1. Second row, second column, second row, third column, and so on up till second row, nth column. Right. Similarly, we have A of m1. That means mth row, first column, mth row, second column, mth row, third column, and so on up till mth row, nth column, right? So we say that we have total m columns and n rows. ये clear है आप लोगों को? We always,
Yes, sir.
Yes, we always represent
Yes.
or address any element by the location of its row and column. First value is for row, second value is for column. If A of ij, so we say that I is the ith element of row and j is the jth column element. Clear hai? Chalo. So we say that the total number of elements in a matrix is you multiply the total number of rows with total number of columns. So m into n. This is called the number of elements, or we can say that this is called dimension of a matrix. That means how many rows and columns a matrix has. So a dimension is represented by m cross n, where m represent number of rows and n represent number of column always. Okay, this is a standard notation. So suppose this is a matrix A having elements 1, 0, 5. We always read the elements by row. So first row elements, then second row elements, and so on. So it's 1, 0, 5, minus 2, 3, minus 8. Here, these are separate values, but we do not use any comma, full stop, or anything to separate these values, right? So it's 1, give a space, 0, give a space, 5, and so on, right? So हमने बोला कि element at first row, first column, which is called A11, is 1. Similarly, element at first row, second column is 0. Element at first row, third column is 5. Element at second row, first column is minus 2. Second row, second column, it is 3. Second row, third column, it is minus of 8. Clear hai? So in this way, we refer to any element at random by its location. Location कैसे देखेंगे? पहला row, then column. So here, if I say this is a matrix, this is another way of representing matrix, that instead of, in some books, instead of a big bracket, you might see some this kind of a bracket. It is also used for matrix, but generally we use the matrix notation with the big bracket, right? अब मैंने पूछा, आपका question है, find the value of A23 in the following matrix. A23 means element at second row, first column. So here, second row elements are minus 2, 7, 10. And we want to refer second row, third column element. So second row, third column element is 10. Option C is correct. Clear? Another term which is denoted, which denotes the dimension, is the order of a matrix. Order of a matrix is also called dimension of a matrix. It is nothing but number of rows multiplied by number of columns, m into n. Okay? So any matrix is represented as like this, a matrix capital A of ij, m cross n. It means that we will construct a matrix A in which we have m number of rows, n number of columns. The value of I, which denotes the row, varies from 1 to m, and the value of j, which denote column, varies from 1 to n. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we come to different types of matrices. This is a very important question, often asked as a long answer question in theoretical terms. What is a matrix? Explain its different types. So whenever such question comes, you have to define what are the different types of matrices. Then you have to give an example of each type, right? So first, basically, we classify matrices in the way we represent the elements in a matrix. So we have a row matrix, we have a column matrix. In a row matrix or a row vector, the matrix having a single row of elements, it doesn't have any columns. It does have only single row. It is called a row matrix. For example, मैंने बोला A of ij, where we have only one row, but we have many columns. So single row, 1, and many columns, n columns. Okay. So A11, A12, A13 up till A1n. This is a one row matrix. This is called a row matrix. Similarly, if you have only one column in a matrix, it may have many rows. Such a matrix is called column matrix. Capital A of ij, m cross 1. Here we have m number of rows, but only one column. Is it clear? And matrices having one row or one column are also known as vectors. So single row or single column matrix are known as vectors also. Clear? So this is the first classification, row matrix and column matrix. Then another type is a zero matrix or a null matrix. If all the elements of a matrix are zero, then it is called a zero matrix or a null matrix, right? We know that we can represent the element of a matrix by a notation. Capital A is equal to A of ij. Here the value of A of ij is equal to 0, no matter what is the value of I and j. That means for all values of I and j, the value of A of ij is equal to 0. Such a matrix in which all the values are 0 are called null matrix or zero matrix. Clear है? अगर हम फर्स्ट मैट्रिक्स देखें, मैट्रिक्स A, it has 2 rows and 2 columns. So dimension or order of this matrix is 2 by 2, 2 cross 2. Matrix B, we have how many rows? 2 rows. And how many columns? 3 columns. So this is a 2 row, 3 column matrix. Here?
Sir, you are not clearly audible.
Hello? बेटा आवाज नहीं आ रही जो भी बोल रहा है. Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, another type of matrix is called a vertical matrix. In vertical matrix, what happens? We have more elements towards its height. This is called vertical matrix, right? That means here we have more number of n is called vertical. M is greater than n. That means it has more rows than its columns. See the example, we have 2, 5, 1, 1, 3, 6, 2, 4. These are the elements of a matrix. The dimension of this matrix is, what is the dimension? We have 4 rows and 2 columns. Since we have more number of rows, this is a bit stretched towards its height. So this is called a vertical matrix. Clear? This is called a vertical matrix. Then in the same manner, we have a horizontal matrix in which towards the width of the matrix, we have more element. That means we have more number of columns than the number of rows. So a matrix of order m cross n is called a vertical matrix if the value of n is greater than m. That means we have more number of columns than the number of rows. Here we have 2 rows and 4 columns. So number of columns are more. That is why it is called a horizontal matrix. Clear hai? And both vertical and horizontal matrix are called rectangular matrix because it is a kind of a rectangle shape that they are creating, right? So such matrices wherein we don't have equal number of rows and columns are called horizontal rectangular matrix. If it has more rows, usko hum bolenge vertical matrix. If it has more columns, usko hum bolenge horizontal matrix. They both are rectangular matrices. Clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, ये सब तो छोड़ दो. Next. Next type of matrix, नीचे पहले देखो, नीचे लिखा हुआ है. Next type of matrix is called a square matrix. A square matrix is a matrix in which we have equal number of rows and columns. That means the value of m and n both are equal. Suppose we have a matrix like this is equal to -4, 5, 0, 8, -1, 3. Here the values of element in a matrix can be positive as well as negative. Okay. It can be a number, it can be a variable also. So we have 3 cross 3. That means we have 3 rows and 3 columns. Since we have equal number of rows and columns, हम इसको बोलेंगे it is a square matrix. अब यहाँ पे order पूछेंगे. So order is same because we have equal number of rows and columns. हम बोलेंगे ये एक third order का square matrix है. That means it has 3 rows and 3 columns. Clear? अगर हम ऊपर का example देखें, so we have a matrix capital A in which we have 3 rows and 3 columns, and we have a matrix capital B in which we have 3 rows and 4 columns. The first matrix has equal rows and equal column, so it's a square matrix, whereas the second matrix doesn't have equal rows and equal column, so it is not a square matrix, we call it as a rectangular matrix. Since we have more columns, so this is a horizontal rectangular matrix. Clear hai? Now, in matrix, we have a special set of values जिसको हम बोलते हैं diagonal matrix, or we can say that it is called a principal diagonal of a matrix. Now, what is a diagonal element? a diagonal element of a matrix is of the form A of ij, where the value of I is equal to j. अगर हम first matrix की बात करें, which is a square matrix, first row first column I और j बराबर, second row second column I और j बराबर, third row third column I of j की वैल्यू बराबर. तो उस पोजीशन पे जो एलिमेंट्स हैं, in the first matrix we have element 2 at first row first column, element 0 at second row second column, and element -8 at third row third column, where the value of I is equal to j. This is called principal. Clear hai? Diagonal element as 10, 0 and 19, because here the value of position vector I, j and I are different. This 10 is at position first row third column 1,3, and 19 is at position third row first column 3,1. 1,3 is not equal to 3,1, right? Here I and j are different, so we don't take these values as diagonal values. So diagonal values are those values for which the value of I and j, that is the row and column position, is same. Similarly, in a non-square matrix or a rectangular matrix like matrix B, again elements हमारे होंगे A11, that is first row first column, A21.
Sir, the screen sharing stopped.
My screen sharing stopped. Just a minute. I hope now it is visible.
Yes, sir.
है ना? So we're discussing about principal diagonal of a matrix. Here in the square matrix, it is very simple. For the position I and j, if the value of I and j is equal, those elements are considered as a part of principal diagonal. In a non-square matrix, we again consider element at first row first column, element at second row second column, element at third row third column as principal diagonal elements. So 2, 4 and 8, which is highlighted here in matrix B, are a part of principal diagonal of a matrix. Clear hai? Is it clear beta? All right. एक और चीज, एक और टर्म हम यूज करते हैं, trace of a matrix. What do you mean by trace of a matrix? A trace of a matrix is sum of all its principal diagonal elements. So if I have a matrix capital A, उसमें principal diagonal क्या होगा? 2, 9 or -8. Add them together, you will get the answer as 3. This is called trace of this matrix, which is represented as TR. Inside the bracket, you write the variable for which you define a matrix. Similarly, for B, matrix position वही रहेगी, first row first column, second row second column, third row third column. So it's 0 plus 3 plus -5, which is minus of 2. So trace of matrix B is minus of 2, right? Chalo. Another type of matrix is called diagonal matrix. We have already seen what a diagonal is. A diagonal is an element for which we have the value of I and j same. So a diagonal matrix is basically a square matrix. A square matrix A of ij n, matlab n rows and n columns, is said to be diagonal if A of ij is equal to 0, if the value of I is not equal to j. In a normal matrix, we consider elements at positions where I and j are same as diagonal, but उसके अलावा जो positions है उसकी value 0 होनी चाहिए. For example, the matrix capital A is equal to -3, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, -10. Here, we only have values in the principal diagonal elements. Rest all the values are 0. Such a matrix is called the diagonal matrix, and we can represent diagonal matrix as A is equal to DIAG. Inside the bracket with a comma separation, you will write the elements of its principal diagonal. So we can write capital A as capital A is equal to DIAG -3, -2, -10. Similarly, we have another square matrix which is capital B. Why it is a square? Because we have equal number of rows and columns here. Both have 4 rows and 4 columns. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 0 for diagonal elements. Rest all the non-diagonal elements are 0. That's why B is a diagonal matrix. I can write B as DIAG 1, 2, 0, -4. So such a matrix is called diagonal matrix, and diagonal matrices are always square matrix. though you can have a principal diagonal in a non-square matrix, but diagonal matrix हमेशा square matrix में ही होगा. Clear है?
Those who students who are raising their hands up can either ask the doubt or they can write the doubts in the chat.
Yeah, please, if you have doubt, you can unmute yourself and please ask your doubt.
Sir, could you explain principal diagonal of a matrix once again?
Yes, definitely. See, principal diagonal of a matrix is a element at such a position in which the value of its row index and column index are same. We say that any element can be represented as A of ij. So here, if the value of I and j position, which is the row and column position, is same, that element is considered as a part of principal diagonal. Here we have a matrix capital A. This element 2 is at first row, first column. मतलब A of 1 1 है ये. I की value 1, j की value 1. Similarly, for the 0 in the second row, the position of this 0 is second row, second column, A22. Second row, second column, I or j की value same है. For -8 in the third row, the position of -8 is third row, third column. Again, the value of I and j are same. So for the elements for which the value of I and j that represent its position are same, we consider those elements as diagonal elements or a part of principal diagonal. So in matrix A, 2, 0 and -8, these three elements are principal diagonal elements. Okay? Similarly, again, we have 0, 1, 1, 2, 2 and 3, 3 positions. So 2, 4 and 8 forms a part of the principal diagonal for matrix B. I hope this is clear now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else who have some doubt? Anybody else who have doubt? आगे बढ़ जाएं. All right. So next matrix देखो. Next matrix is called a scalar matrix. ठीक है? Next matrix is called a scalar matrix. What is a scalar matrix? A scalar matrix is a diagonal matrix whose all diagonal elements are equal. ठीक है? अभी हमने जो diagonal matrix देखा उसमें elements diagonal तो हैं, but they are not same. In matrix A it is -3, then second it is 2, third row it is -10. They are not same. But in a matrix, if all the diagonal elements are same, such a diagonal element matrix is called a scalar matrix. और एक बात ध्यान रखिए, diagonal matrices are always square matrices. So scalar matrix are also square matrix because they are diagonal matrix. Clear है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll take an example. Suppose मैंने बोला capital A is equal to 8 0 0 8. Here we have a diagonal element 8 8 and they both are same, so we call it as a scalar matrix. A is as a scalar matrix. Here the value of A can be any value, but it is similar. The diagonal elements have the same value. Rest non-diagonal elements are all 0. Clear? Such a matrix is called a scalar matrix. Then we have a unit matrix or identity matrix. What is a unit matrix? A unit matrix is a kind of a scalar matrix. That means all diagonal elements are same and that same element or unity. So a diagonal matrix whose all diagonal elements are equal to 0 equal to 1 is called identity matrix or unit matrix. ठीक है? उसको हम लिखते कैसे हैं? कैपिटल I से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. I of n मतलब since it's a square matrix तो मुझे एक ही डायमेंशन लिखना है. मैंने लिखा I of n. अगर मैं बोलूं मुझे I2 बनाना है, I2 मतलब a identity matrix of order 2. It will have 2 rows and 2 columns. So मैंने I2 लिखा, मैंने 2 row बनाई, 2 column बनाया, and I know that it is a kind of a scalar matrix in which the diagonal elements are 1. The scalar matrix value is 1, so it's 1 0 0 1. Similarly for I3, the element at first row, first column, element at second row, second column, and element at third row, third column, all are 1. This is a matrix I3. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
तो इसको हम बोलते हैं, this is called a unit matrix or identity matrix. ठीक है? Then another important type of matrices, we have triangular matrix. ठीक है? Triangular matrix are those matrix in which we have elements on only one part of the matrix. ठीक? there are two types of triangular matrices. First is called upper triangular matrix. The second one is called lower triangular matrix. Now, what is an upper triangular matrix? Upper triangular matrix is a matrix in which all the elements below the principal diagonal are zero. All the elements below the principal diagonal are zero. This is called upper triangular. ठीक है? और उसको हम लिखेंगे कैसे नोटेशन में? It is of the form P is equal to A of ij of n, where A of ij is equal to 0 for all I greater than j. मतलब जहां पर रो वाली वैल्यू कॉलम वाली वैल्यू से ज्यादा है, उस एलिमेंट की वैल्यू 0 होनी चाहिए. ठीक है? अब इस मैट्रिक्स को देखिए. Here it is first row, first column, I and j are same. First row, second column, I is less than j, so we have a value. First row, third column, it can have a 0 value. Second row, first column, I की वैल्यू j से ज्यादा है, that value is 0. अगर आप third row, first column देखो, वो भी 0 है. Third row, second column देखो, वो भी 0 है. That means for all such elements with a position such that A of ij, for A of ij, the value of I is more than j, the value is 0. Such matrices are called upper triangular matrix. Here we have elements only in the upper part of the matrix. It forms a kind of a triangle. 1, 3, 0, -4, 9 and -5. Similarly for matrix B भी देख लो. Upper part जो है diagonal elements इसका 2, 3, -5 है. बाकी upper part में values हैं, lower part में we have 0 values. Such a matrix is called upper triangular matrix. Is it clear? Is it clear to you what is upper triangular matrix?
Yes, sir.
All right. Sir, अगर किसी ने raise किया hand तो मुझे बता दीजिएगा. If anybody have any doubt, I can clear your doubts. Similarly, we have a lower triangular matrix. What is a lower triangular matrix?
Saloni,
Yes, please.
raise your hand. So you can continue, sir.
All right. So
No,
we
sir,
have a
कोई
lower.
doubt नहीं.
नहीं है doubt?
No, sir.
All right, ठीक है. So similarly, we have a lower triangular matrix in which the elements not below but above the principal diagonal are 0. So for which the value of I is less than the value of j. मैंने मैट्रिक्स A देखिए. It is -7, 0, 0, 3, 5, 2, 10, 0. So I am getting a triangle on the lower side, a triangle of values in the lower side, and upper side we have 0, 0, 0. Such a matrix is called upper triangular matrix. A is a square matrix, whereas capital B is a non-square matrix. Here also, above the principal diagonal, all the elements are 0. Okay? So we have lower triangular and upper triangular matrices. Now, there are some properties जो हम matrix में use करते हैं. First, how can we compare two matrices? The property is two matrices capital A and capital B are said to be comparable if the order of matrix A is equal to the order of matrix B. That means if both the elements have same number of rows and columns, we say that they are comparable. I'm not saying they are equal, but they are comparable. अगर matrix A 3 row 5 column का है और matrix B भी 3 row 5 column का है, no matter what the values at these positions be, हम उनको बोलेंगे they are comparable matrices. Is it clear? So we say that matrices are comparable if order of both the matrices are same. The second case is equal matrix. How can we say that the two matrices are equal? There are two conditions. The first condition is they should be comparable. That means two matrices A and B are said to be equal if they have same number of rows and columns. This is the first condition. Second condition, corresponding elements of these matrices also need to be equal. Corresponding element क्या होते हैं? अगर first row first column का element matrix A का first row first column matrix B से बराबर है, we say that they are equal. For each and every element in both the matrices. Okay? We represent matrix A as A of ij m cross n, and we represent B as B of ij p cross q if the value of m is equal to p and the value of n is equal to q, that means they have equal number of rows and columns. This is the first condition. Second, for each element of the type A of ij, the value of A of ij of this position should be equal to B of ij. तब हम बोलेंगे कि हमारा मैट्रिक्स A इक्वल है मैट्रिक्स B के. If A of ij is equal to B of ij for all values of I and j, we say that the two matrices are equal. So दो term है matrices comparable and matrices equal. ठीक है? Two matrices are comparable if they have same number of rows and column, and they are equal if they are comparable as well as the corresponding elements are same. ये समझ में आया? Anybody can respond? Is it clear? Shall I move on?
Yes, sir.
All right. इसको छोड़ो. Now we come to an important topic, which is algebra of matrices. What can we do, or what algebraic expressions, what algebraic operations can be performed on two matrices? This is very important. Often questions come with algebra of matrix only. चलो, हम दो matrices को add कर सकते हैं, हम दो matrices को subtract कर सकते हैं, हम दो matrices को multiply कर सकते हैं, and also we can multiply a constant value which is called a scalar value with a matrix. ठीक है? मैंने बोला let k be a scalar or a normal -6, 3, -4, 7. ठीक है? और हमें -a निकालना है. -a मतलब I have to multiply each element of a by minus sign. So -1 into -1. This is, मैंने माइनस कॉमन लिया है ना, सो आप इसको ऐसे लिख सकते हैं. -a कैसे निकालोगे? a into -1. That is, I take -1 as common outside, I multiply it by the value of a. So -1 into -1 +1 हो गया, -1 into 2 -2 हो गया, -1 into -6 +6 हो गया, -1 into 3 -3 हो गया, -1 into -4 +4, -1 into 7 is -7. In this way, I have created a negative matrix, which is simply obtained by multiplying each and every element of a matrix by -1. Right? So what I am doing, I am multiplying with a constant value to all the elements of a matrix. ठीक है? इसको बोलते हैं scalar matrix multiplication, or multiplication of each element of a matrix by a constant value. Clear? Suppose मेरे पास एक मैट्रिक्स है कैपिटल A जिसकी वैल्यू है -1 2 6 -6 3 -4 7, एंड मैंने बोला कि आप इसका 5a निकालिए. That means I have to multiply each element of a by 5, right? So my answer would be minus of 5, plus of 10, minus of 30, plus of 15, minus of 20, plus of 35. ये समझ में आया आपको? So multiplication of a matrix by a scalar matlab you have to multiply each element of that matrix by whatever the scalar value is given to you. Clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. The next is addition and subtraction of matrices, right? Whenever we add two matrices, what we check that these two matrices are to be comparable with each other. That means they must have equal number of rows and columns. If they don't have equal number of rows and columns, we cannot add or subtract two matrices, right? So for doing a plus minus b, that means a plus b karo ya a minus b karo, you have to check whether the dimension of a and dimension of b is same or not. If two matrices have same dimension, we can add or we can subtract. Clear? Suppose I have a matrix capital A as 2 -3 4 0 1 5. I have a matrix capital B as -6 0 -2 1 7 -8. Here I need to find the value of a plus b or a minus b. It's a very standard question. Generally short answer में ऐसा आता है, आपको दो मैट्रिक्स दिए रहेंगे, आपसे बोलेंगे इसका a plus b निकालिए या a minus b निकालिए या a plus twice of b निकालिए, a minus thrice of b निकालिए. So first of all, to obtain twice of b, you have to multiply each element by whatever is the scalar value here, and then simply add it. So first I'll check the dimension. The dimension of matrix A is what? What is dimension of matrix A? Anybody can tell me what is the dimension or order of matrix A here? Yes, please. What is the dimension of matrix A? What is the order of matrix A? Anybody can tell me what is the order of matrix A here? Order matlab how many rows and columns it has?
So 2 into 3.
Yes, capital A matrix, and also dimension of capital B is also 2 rows and 3 columns. Since both the matrices have same number of rows and columns, they are comparable. अगर matrices comparable हैं तो ही हम उनको add या subtract कर सकते हैं, right? So आप लिखेंगे since dimension of या order of both the matrices is same, hence they can be added or subtracted, जो भी आपसे question में पूछा जाए. This line you have to write. ठीक है? Now we have to find a plus b. So मैंने बोला अगर a plus b निकाला, दो नंबर को मैं ऐड करूंगा तो नंबर इंटीजर ही रहेगा. Similarly, अगर एक मैट्रिक्स का डायमेंशन m क्रॉस n है और दूसरे मैट्रिक्स का डायमेंशन भी m क्रॉस n है, उसका एडिशन a of ij plus b of ij is c of ij, where c of ij कैसे निकालोगे? a of ij plus b of ij. अगर हम नेगेटिव निकाल रहे हैं तो a of ij minus b of ij ऊपर लिखा हुआ है, राइट? सो हमें a plus b निकालना है. सो हम क्या करेंगे? We will add the corresponding elements together. That means first row, first column element of A will be added to first row, first column element of B. Similarly, first row, second column element of A is added to the corresponding first row, second column element of B, and so on. We follow it for all the elements. So 2 minus of 6, it is minus of 4. Minus 3 plus of 0, it is minus 3. 4 minus of 2, answer is 2. 0 plus of 1, the answer is 1. 1 plus of 7, the answer is 8. And 5 minus of 8 is minus of 3. So a plus b, the value is minus 4, minus 3, 2, 1, 8, minus 3. Here आपको यहाँ पे small bracket दिख रहा है, but in examination please try to use always big bracket, जैसे कि ऊपर लिखा है ना. Always while representing matrix we use this notation. The second question was you have to find the value of a minus b. Again, since the dimension is same, so we can easily find the value of a minus b. ठीक है ना? Since the dimension is same, we can find the value of a minus b. Here a minus b is equal to 2 minus of 6, that means 2 plus 6, which is 8. Minus of 3 minus of 0, the answer is minus 3. Minus of 4 minus of 2, तो ये हो गया 4 plus 2 6. 0 minus of 1, my answer is minus 1. 1 minus of 7, it is minus of 6. And 5 minus of 8, तो minus हो गया plus. I'll get 5 plus 8, which is 13. Always remember, we add or subtract only the corresponding elements. ठीक है? So a of ij will be added to b of ij, where I and j are same. First row, first column of A will be added to first row, first column element of B, and so on. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
A plus B, A minus B. So this is about addition and subtraction. Now we come to a very important part. अच्छा, एक और चीज, these are some properties. अगर आपके पास बुक है तो आप properties of matrix में देखिएगा. मैं यहाँ दिखा रहा हूँ आपको. If you have two matrices A and B of same order, then A plus B is equal to B plus A. That means matrix addition is commutative. Whether you add A plus B or you add B plus A, the answer is same. But matrix subtraction is non-commutative. A minus B is not always equal to B minus A. Again, this is an example. We have a matrix capital A. What is dimension of this matrix? It is 3 row and 2 column matrix. We have a matrix capital B, which is again 3 rows and 2 column matrix. They both have same rows and same column. That means they are comparable. हमको A plus B निकालना है, हमको B plus A निकालना है. Question ऐसा आ सकता है, आपको दो मैट्रिक्स मिलेंगे, बोलेंगे वेरीफाई commutative law of addition. Please verify for the commutative law of subtraction. So it follows commutative law of addition. That means a plus b is equal to b plus a. तो पहले आप a plus b निकालिए. A plus b कैसे निकालोगे? Just write down the matrix A, put a plus sign, write down the matrix B, right? Since they have same number of rows and columns, I can add corresponding elements in both the matrices. So first row, first column element of A is added to the first row, first column element of B. Here we have 3 plus 1, which is 4, 0 plus 7, 7, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, 4 plus 5, 9, 5 minus 8, minus 3, minus 6 plus of 10, it is plus of 4. All right. So this is A plus B. Similarly, we need to find the value of B plus A. B plus A में हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? पहले matrix B लिखना है, then put a plus sign, then you write matrix A. Again, we add corresponding elements. So 1 is added with 3, my answer is 4. 7 is added with 0, my answer is 7. Minus 2 is added to minus 1, my answer is minus 3. 5 is added to 4, my answer is 9. Minus 8 is added to 5, the answer is minus of 3. 10 is added to minus 6, my answer is 4. In this way, I see that A plus B is equal to B plus A. Hence, we have verified the commutative property of addition, that is A plus B is equal to B plus A. Similarly, of A minus B. So A minus B हमने निकाल लिया. It is, you write the matrix A first, put a minus sign, you write the matrix B, solve the corresponding elements. So it's 3 minus 1, which is 2, 0 minus 7, which is minus 7, minus 1, minus of minus 2, so it's minus 1 plus of 2, the answer is 1. In this way, you solve it, you will get the element 2 minus 7, 1 minus 1, 13 minus 16. Similarly, we find the value of B minus A. First, you write the elements of B, put a minus sign, you write the elements of A, and solve the corresponding elements. So first row, first column element of B, minus first row, first column element of A, 1 minus 3, the answer is minus 2. 7 minus 0, the answer is 7. Minus 2, minus of minus 1, so the answer is minus 1. 5 minus of 4, the answer is 1. In the same manner, here we see that the value of A minus B is not equal to the value of B minus A. दोनों values अलग अलग हैं. That means commutative law is not followed in subtraction, but it is followed in addition. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
It is a 8 marks question. इतना easy कचरा सा question 8 number का आता है. The thing is, you have to write it in proper order. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is another problem. Instead of normal values, now we have algebraic values. We have x square plus x is one term. Second term is x. Next row element are 3 and 2. So first matrix is x square plus x, 3, 2, plus 0, minus 1, minus x plus 1, x. It is equal to 0, minus 2, 5, 1. हमें x की value निकाल. Now you see that the dimension of both the matrix on the left hand side are same, which is 2 row, 2 column. That means they can be added, and after adding, I'll obtain the right hand side part. So I can equate them together. I can say that x square plus x plus x, इसको हमने add कर दिया 0 के साथ, so it becomes x square plus x. Similarly, x को हमने 1 के साथ add कर दिया minus 1 के साथ, so it becomes x minus 1. 3 plus minus of x plus of 1, so it's minus of x plus of 4, and 2 plus x, ये हो गया. This is equal to the value given in the right hand side part, 0, minus 2, 5, 1. That means corresponding values are same. So x square plus x is equal to 0. X minus 1 is equal to minus 2. Minus x plus 4 is equal to 5. And 2 plus x is equal to 1. From all these 4 equations, you can solve it. You'll get the value of x. Okay? And whatever is the value, it should be same. So we have minus 1 in all x. So we skip this x equal to 0. We will say that the value of x is equal to minus of 1 here. Is it clear?
Yes,
so
sir.
ऐसे question भी आ जाते हैं. You have to remember the property. If two matrices of the same order are added, so it is equal to the whatever is given in the right hand side part. Solve it, you will get the value of the unknown variable. ठीक? और एक और property, this is called property of association or associative property of addition. It says that if we have matrices A, B and C, A plus B plus C, that means first you find the value of B plus C, then whatever answer you get, you add it to A. It is equal to A plus B. You add A and B. With that answer, you add the value of C. The value remains the same in both the side, LHS as well as RHS. That means A plus B plus C, it is equal to A plus B plus C. This is called associative law or associative property of addition. Okay? This is not valid in subtraction. Also, if we have a matrix A of order m into n, then A plus O means zero matrix or null matrix, it remains the same. So A plus 0 is equal to 0 plus A is equal to A, where O, it is not 0, it is actually O, which is a null matrix or a zero matrix of order m into n. This is called identity property. A plus a null matrix, the answer is that matrix only. Similarly, if you add A with minus of A, negative of that particular thing, the answer is a null matrix. So A plus minus of A, it is equal to 0. It is 0 मतलब null matrix. It is equal to minus of A plus of A. हम ये verify कर सकते हैं. You take the value of A, take it as a second order matrix. So A की value हो गई. Suppose हमारी A की value है 1 0 0 1. What is negative of A? Negative of A means you subtract each element, you multiply each element by -1. So ये हो जाएगा -1 0 0 -1. What you have to do? A plus minus of A. So you add the both matrices. So 1 minus 1 cancel, 0 मिला. Again 1 minus 1 0 मिला. ऐसे करके आपको सारी वैल्यू 0 मिलेंगी. जिस मैट्रिक्स में सारी वैल्यू 0 होते हैं उसको हम बोलते हैं null matrix, and we show it using a O. Clear? So this is called inverse of A. Minus A is called additive inverse of A. Similarly, we have some properties of scalar multiplication. If you multiply K with A or A with K, the answer remains the same. If you have two matrices A and B that are added or subtracted, and there is multiplication with K, I say that K times A plus K times B or K times A minus K times B, where K is a scalar value. Similarly, K1 plus minus K2 into A is equal to K1 of A plus minus K2 of A. Here, I can take a positive option, that is K1 plus K2, or a negative option, which is K1 minus K2. For both these, it is true. ठीक है? So in this way, हम ये चलते हैं. K और A दोनों scalars हैं, तो K into alpha A, it is equal to K into alpha into A. You just take values of A, K and alpha and verify it yourself. ये सारी properties आपको मिल जाएंगी books में, properties of matrix में. Now, the most important part of your matrix, it is matrix multiplication. Please इसको आप ध्यान से देखिए. So, a very important property before multiplying two matrices is that अगर हमें matrix को add करना होता है तो हम ये check करते हैं both the matrices should have same number of rows and columns, right? But if you want to multiply two matrices, हम ये check करते हैं कि number of columns of A should be equal to the number of rows of B. Column को row से match करते हैं. So the product of two matrices A and B will exist only when the number of columns of matrix A is equal to the number of rows of matrix B. Suppose we have a matrix A of the form A of ij. The dimension is m rows and p columns. So dimension क्या हो गया? M cross p. And we have a matrix is B of ij p cross n. मतलब p rows and n columns. अगर मुझे इसको मल्टीप्लाई करना है तो मैं ये चेक करूंगा कि नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स ऑफ A should be equal to the number of rows of B. Here the number of columns of A is P and the number of rows of B is also P. this number of column of A and number of rows of B are matching. So हमने बोला कि हम इसको multiply कर सकते हैं. And the dimension of the multiplication matrix would be number of rows of A and number of columns of B. So number of rows of A is M and number of columns of B is N. इसको आप ऐसे भी समझ सकते हो. I hope this whiteboard is visible to you. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Suppose I have a matrix capital A of the order 2 rows and 3 columns, and I have a matrix capital B of the order 3 rows and 3 columns. ठीक है? If I need to multiply these two matrices, I will check number of column of A should be equal to number of rows of B. Yes? Here, the number of column of A is 3 and number of rows of B is 3. That means I can multiply these two because they are matching. And what is dimension of new matrix? The dimension of new matrix says C. It is number of rows of A and number of columns of B. So नया matrix क्या बनेगा? 2 rows 3 column का बनेगा. Is it clear? Is this thing clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. अभी हमने ये देखा कि नया मैट्रिक्स में के डायमेंशन क्या होंगे, बट नाउ वी विल सी हाउ एक्चुअली अ न्यू मैट्रिक्स वुड बी क्रिएटेड. क्लियर? चलो, सपोज मेरे पास एक मैट्रिक्स है, मैट्रिक्स A which is 2 0 -1 3 -4 6, and I have a matrix capital B which is 1 -3 0 5 2. Always use this notation of big bracket while representing a matrix. ठीक है? अब मुझे क्या करना है? मुझे निकालना है A into B. I say that let's see a matrix C is equal to A into B. सबसे पहले मुझे dimension check करना है. The dimension of first matrix is 2 rows and 3 columns. Dimension of second matrix is 3 rows and 2 columns. Yes, the number of columns of A is equal to the number of rows of B. तो मैं बोलूंगा कि yes, I can multiply them both. So what is the dimension of new matrix? The dimension of the new matrix is 2 rows and 2 columns. ये समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, ठीक है. So the dimension of new matrix is 2 rows and 2 columns. 2 rows and 2 columns यानी उसमें कितनी वैल्यू होंगी? 4 वैल्यू. I'll tell you with an example. मैं ये example यहाँ लिख के बताता हूँ आपको. I'll just write it down first. The value of matrix A. Can somebody tell me the value of matrix A? किसी ने नोट किया है? सबको मैं ही लिख लेता हूँ. 2 0 -1 3 -4 6. It's 2 0 -1 3 4 minus of 6. This is matrix A. Sorry, 3 -4 6. 3 -4 6. And the value of matrix B, the value of matrix B is 1 -3 0 5, 1 -3 0 5 -7 minus of 2. ठीक है? अब यहाँ ध्यान से देखिए. The dimension of matrix A is 2 rows and 3 columns. Dimension of matrix B is 3 rows and 2 columns. The number of columns of A is equal to number of rows of B. ऐसे वहां मार्क मत करना, आपके समझाने के लिए बता रहा हूँ. That means I can multiply the two matrices. जब भी आप दो मैट्रिक्स मल्टीप्लाई करोगे and they can be multiplied, you have to write this line since number of columns of matrix capital A is equal to number of rows of matrix capital B. Hence, matrices can be multiplied. Hence, matrices can be multiplied. The dimension of the new matrix capital C A into B, the dimension of this new matrix is क्या हो जाएगा? नंबर ऑफ रोज ऑफ ए एंड नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स ऑफ बी. तो सी का जो डायमेंशन है, सी जो होगा वो किस डायमेंशन का होगा? 2 rows and 2 columns का होगा. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Up till this point, is it clear? Okay. So I'm just rubbing this part. since my number of columns of A is equal to number of rows of B, I can multiply them both. And my new matrix would be capital C. Capital C would be a 2 row and 2 column matrix. ये clear है? यहां तक. अब अगर वो 2 रो 2 कॉलम का हो तो उसमें टोटल वैल्यूज कितनी होंगी? 4 वैल्यूज. फर्स्ट रो फर्स्ट कॉलम, second column, second row first column and second row second column. Put 4 dots like this. ठीक है, ये हमारे समझने के लिए बता रहा हूं मैं आपको. This first element of matrix C is at which position? First row first column position. मतलब C11. This is C11. This is C12. This is C21. This is C22. ये clear है आप लोगों को? Is this thing clear up till this point? बोलो yes or no?
Yes, sir.
All right. अब हम देखते हैं how do we find the value at this position. ठीक है, अब मैं इसको अभी के लिए मिटा रहा हूं. So we have seen that this is the element at first row first column. ठीक है, now the element at first row first column in matrix C, how it is obtained वो ध्यान से देखिए. How I obtain this. ठीक है, so it is obtained by, अब ये हमें क्या निकालना है? हमें C11 निकालना है, first row first column. So हम इसको कैसे निकालेंगे? First row elements of A are multiplied by first column elements of B, corresponding elements. समझ में आया? C11 कैसे निकलेगा? First row elements of matrix A are multiplied with the corresponding first column elements of matrix B. कैसे? यहां देखो, हमने बोला first row elements of A is multiplied by first column element. That means 2 is multiplied by 1. First row first element of A is multiplied by first row first column element plus first row second column element of A is multiplied by second row first column element of B. इसके रो के एलिमेंट को B के कॉलम के एलिमेंट से मल्टीप्लाई करना है, करस्पॉन्डिंग एलिमेंट्स, प्लस फिर क्या है? माइनस ऑफ 1 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय माइनस ऑफ 7. इज इट क्लियर टू यू?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, दिस विल गिव यू द वैल्यू ऑफ ओनली फर्स्ट रो फर्स्ट कॉलम एलिमेंट ऑफ मैट्रिक्स सी. तो आप अगर आपको दिक्कत हो रही है, आप ऐसे लिखे जैसे मैंने लिखा है, 2 into 1 plus 0 into 0 plus minus 1 into minus 7. इसको हम सॉल्व करते हैं. 2 into 1 is 2, 0 into 0 is 0, so 2 plus 0 0, minus 1 into minus 7 is plus of 7, so 2 plus 7, the answer is 9. That means my total answer for this row, आप इसको next time में भी लिख सकते हो, my total answer would be 9 here. ठीक है, similarly the value at C12, that means first row second column. How do I get the value at first row second column? वो हमें कैसे मिलेगी? I have to multiply first row elements of A with second column elements of B. ठीक है, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? 2 into minus 3 which is minus of 6 plus 0 into 5 which is 0 plus minus 1 into minus 2, it is 2, so my answer is minus of 4. ये समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
So again हम अपने एग्जांपल पे आते हैं जो यहाँ सॉल्व लिखा हुआ है. So I obtained the value of C11 by multiplying first row elements of A by first column elements of B. So 2 into 1 plus 0 into 0 plus 1 into minus 7. Similarly, I get the element at first row second column in C by multiplying first row elements of A. पहला पार्ट जो रो का है वो A से आएगा, दूसरा पार्ट जो कॉलम का है वो B से आएगा. So first row element of A multiplied to the first column to the second column elements of B, क्योंकि C12 निकाल रहे हैं. C12 मतलब first row of A multiplied to the first column to second column elements of B. So it's 2 into minus of 3 plus 0 into 5 plus minus 1 into minus 2. Clear? Next we have C21, matlab second row first column. So what I have to do, row आएगी A से, column आएगा B से. So second row elements of A are multiplied to the first column elements of B. That is 3 into 1 plus minus 4 into 0 plus 6 into minus 7. Similarly, C का second row second column यानी second row of A is multiplied to second column elements of B, corresponding elements. So it's 3 into minus 3 plus minus 4 into 5 plus 6 into minus 2. I hope this is clear. If you solve it, you'll get the answer as 9 minus 4 minus 39 minus 41. This is how you do matrix multiplication. किसी को doubt है? Anybody having any doubt, you can raise your hands. I hope this is clear. Matrix multiplication.
Yes, sir.
Okay. अब देखो यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन क्या दिया हुआ है. I have a value of A as 2, 0, minus 1, 3, minus 4, 6. I have a matrix capital B as 1, minus 5, minus 7, minus 2. आपसे बोलते हैं find the matrix BA. Matrix BA कब मिलेगा? When you multiply the value of elements of B with the value of elements of A. पहले matrix B, then matrix A. So I have to change the order here. A लिख लिया, B लिख लिया, what is given to you in the question. We need to find the value of B into A. So first write the matrix B. Matrix B is 1, minus 3, 0, 5, minus 7, minus 2. Here the dimension is very important. The dimension is 3 rows and 2 columns. I have to multiply it by A. So you write the matrix A. It is 2, 0, minus 1, 3, minus 4, 6. We always read the matrix row by row. So all the elements of first row, then all the elements of second row, and so on. Since we only have 2 rows in A, the dimension of A is 2 rows and 2 columns. Because I have to multiply, I would check that number of columns of A should be equal to the number of rows of B. Here, the number of columns of A is 2 and number of rows of B is also 2, which is equal. Hence, these two can be multiplied. So, आपको वहाँ लिखना पड़ेगा, since the number of columns of matrix B is equal to the number of rows of matrix A, which is equal to 2, hence matrix can be multiplied. The dimension of the new matrix B into A is equal to, कैसे निकालोगे? Number of rows of matrix B and number of columns of matrix A, which is 3 and 3. So it will be a 3 cross 3 matrix, a square matrix. ये समझ में आया आपको?
Yes, sir.
All right. अब हम find out करते हैं.
Yes, sir.
3 into 3 है, so I have total 9 values. First row, first column, first row, second column, first row, third column, and so on. So first we need to find the value at first column. That means first row elements of capital B are multiplied with the first column elements of capital A. So it's 1 into 2, which is 2, plus minus 3 into 3, which is minus 9. My answer is 2 minus 9, which is minus of 7. The second value is first row, second column. That means I have to multiply first row elements of B with first column elements of A. That means 1 into 0, which is 0, plus minus 3 into 6, minus 3 into 4, which is plus of 12. So 0 plus 12 is 12. Clear hai?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we have to find the value at first row, third column. First row, third column कब मिलेगा? When I multiply first row elements of B with third column elements of A. That means 1 into minus 1, which is minus 1, minus 3 into 6, which is minus 18. So my answer is minus of 19. Similarly, for second row, first column, I have to multiply second row elements of B with first column elements of A. That means 0 into 2, 0, 5 into 3, 15. My answer is 15. आपको दिक्कत है तो एलिमेंट्स आप मल्टीप्लाई लिख लीजिए 1 into 2 plus minus 3 into 3 and then solve it. एक स्टेप बढ़ जाएगी बट आपको सॉल्व करने में आसानी हो जाएगी. For every element you have to do the same and at last I'll get the matrix as minus 7, 12, minus 19, 15, minus 20, 30, minus 20, 8 and minus 5. Clear है?
Yes, sir.
So please, if you have books, try to solve the exercise in the matrix portion. आप आराम से कर पाएंगे. Matrix multiplication एक बार tough. You have to know which position to multiply with position. So if I need to find the value at, suppose मुझे निकालना है third row second column, that means I have to multiply third row elements of first matrix with second column elements of the second matrix. पहले matrix का row, दूसरे का column. So it's minus 7 into 0 plus minus 2 into minus 4. Minus 7 into 0 is 0. Minus 2 into minus 4 is plus of 8. 0 plus 8, my answer is 8. So in this way, for any position element, I can find the value. The thing is, you have to multiply row elements of the first matrix with the column elements of the second matrix, the corresponding elements, and add them both. Clear hai? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
All right. So please, मेरे ख्याल से मैं आज यहाँ stop करता हूँ. There are more properties of matrix multiplication which is not that useful. आप book में देख लीजिएगा, आपके समझ में आ जाएगा. ठीक है? हमारे काम की चीज यही थी. How do we multiply two matrices? What we will check. So for adding and subtraction, we will check the order. It should be same. That means if both the matrices have equal number of rows and columns, I can add or subtract. But for multiplication, I'll check that number of columns of first matrix should be equal to the number of rows of the second matrix. Clear hai?
Yes, sir.
So with this small time, I'll try to complete this portion. Please practice करिएगा आप लोग. If you have doubt, we can have a doubt class on day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have a class of logarithms. और आप बोलेंगे तो मैं आपको मैट्रिक्स, हम साइमल्टेनियस के कुछ वर्ड प्रॉब्लम्स कर लेंगे, मैट्रिक्स का भी एक आध क्वेश्चन कर लेंगे, क्योंकि लॉगरिथम ज्यादा नहीं पढ़ना, आपको सिंपल सा लॉगरिथम मैं बता, टेक टाइम. सो आई विल ट्राई टू डू लॉगरिथम पोर्शन आल्सो टुमारो. टुमारो मुझे आप एक टाइम बता दीजिएगा, व्हाट टाइम इज सुटेबल फॉर यू, बिकॉज़ इट्स अ हॉलिडे. इफ यू वांट वी कैन हैव इट ऑन द सेम टाइम. we'll have it from 6 to 8, but I want a 2-hour class. We'll have a class from 6 to 8 tomorrow. Clear है?
Yes, sir. But हमारा inverse of matrix भी बचा है ना?
अच्छा, आपको मैट्रिक्स इनवर्स भी है सिलेबस में? Fine. So we'll do inverse of matrix also tomorrow. First we'll do inverse of matrix, then we will start the logarithm portion. ठीक है?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. Anybody have any doubt?
No, sir.
पक्का? All right, ठीक है. चलो फिर. So for today, I stop my class. Please इसकी practice करेगा, especially for matrix multiplication. If you have doubt, I can take up your doubts day after tomorrow. कल टाइम मिला तो कल भी देखेंगे. कल थोड़ा सा पढ़ के आना, हम inverse of matrix पढ़ेंगे. ठीक है?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Vijay sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. 6 tomorrow then.
Fine. Tomorrow. Tomorrow 6 o'clock we have a class. Acha. You can see these properties of matrix all on the net. आप Google पे simple लिखिए. There is a website called QMaths. QEMATS. ठीक है? QMaths पे जाइएगा. You will get the notes from there. QMaths.com. It's a very good website for learning mathematics. आपको वहाँ से theory मिल जाएगी. बाकी if you have books, जिसके पास हो उससे एटलीस्ट थ्योरी पोर्शन कॉपी कर लो. मैट्रिक्स में आपसे पूछा जा सकता है द डेफिनेशन ऑफ मैट्रिक्स. दे माइट आस्क यू अबाउट डिफरेंट टाइप. यू हैव टू गिव एन एग्जांपल. वेदर आस्क्ड और नॉट, यू हैव टू गिव एन एग्जांपल. ओके, चलो. सो फॉर नाउ we'll have a class tomorrow at 6. Please do join and ask all your friends, those who have not connected today, to attend the classes for your CCs. Chalo, bye.
Thank you, Ashish sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
So we can end the live then here.
Yeah, sure. चलो, मैं भी exit कर रहा हूँ. Thank you so much.